Why you don't do the things you know are good for you. Self-sabotage, or perhaps there's something more. In this video, we'll dive deep into this phenomena and help you break this vicious cycle. My name's Thomas Garbarino. Thank you for tuning into this channel. Please hit the subscribe, like, and bell so you get our weekly videos. This channel is devoted towards the healing process, all of it on this journey, from the pitfalls, obstacles, the hacks and benefits, as well as the mindsets that needed to heal and get your life back. This phenomenon that is often referred to as self-sabotage. First, let's define that. What comes to me is the definition that is a habit that we are stuck in, whether it's conscious or unconscious, often unconscious, where we are hindering or even hurting the development of our body physically, our mind, or spirit. It is something that is happening repetitively over and over to the point where you see this pattern. So, for example, you want to cultivate a meditation practice and you've heard that waking up early in the morning is the best time to do your meditation practice, but whenever it's time to wake up in the morning, you end up pushing that snooze button. How many of us are guilty of that? Secondly, you just heard from your naturopath or doctor that you cannot tolerate gluten, but whenever Friday night comes around, you somehow end up ordering that cheese pizza that you've loved for so many years. How many of us are guilty of that? This is a real phenomenon that I saw in my practice with all my clients and for myself on my healing journey, and what we can do to stop this cycle. What we need to recognize is that there are many parts to our psyche. Some of these parts are obviously beneficial. They have aspirations, dreams, longings to be something. And then we also have parts that have, for other reasons, maybe been wounded or hurt by life experience, and they have develop some concrete ideas and beliefs about ourselves or about the world at whole. I like to refer to these parts of our nature not so much sabotaging, but more like a caboose that's holding us back because they're hurt, they've been wounded. In their attempt are actually trying to help us be safe, because going into the unknown, whether it's stop eating pizza or waking up early from the comfort of your bed, in some way is stretching yourself, your psyche, out beyond into a new territory that is unknown. And that is scary for some of these wounded parts. So in their attempt, they are like a caboose holding us back because that feels safe. Often I hear this in the New Age community, even in the holistic health community, saying that saboteur, self-sabotage is bad and we need to do things to eradicate them. I 100% disagree with this. This is the wrong way to approach this. The best way, from my experience, is recognizing that this part is hurt. Just like the same way if you had a friend or a beloved pet that was wounded and hurt, you're not going to push and force them into a situation that they may be timid or afraid of. So the best way to handle this is to first make space and to welcome that part that is feeling scared about taking a step forward. Now, for some of us, this is conscious. For a lot of us, this is unconscious. And when it's in the unconscious, I highly recommend reaching out to a coach, a therapist, or someone that you know is skilled in these matters that can help you shine the light of your awareness onto that which is unconscious. Going forward, what you want to do is, once you've established this space of welcoming, then you want to open up the dialogue to find out why this part of you is resisting. Often what you'll find is it's scared, it's afraid, it feels that if it makes that change, it'll lose something. And so this is just a common belief that a lot of these parts of our psyche have. And so the best way to do that is to just offer option, like you would with anyone. You know, if someone was like holding tight, you know, like a child holding onto their blanket, their thumb in their mouth, rather than just pulling that blanket away, talk to them. Understand their need to have that blanket. In the same way with this part, understand why it's so afraid. Give it the space, give it the platform where it can speak and feel like it's being heard. And once that's acknowledged, already a lot of the charge and resistance can be lessened. Then we find out what the true feelings are underneath that action. So often it is they want to help. They want to keep the system safe. They want to make sure that there's no harm as we venture into this new territory. And so reaffirming that no one is going to get hurt, we will do our best to check back in and let them know as we're venturing forward into some new behavior or new action. It can be a part of that, and to check back in and see if that part is listening and hearing and experiencing it along with the rest of the system. Essentially inviting it in rather than pushing it away. And then always to follow back up to make sure that it understands what is happening. As this happens naturally, often what I find within myself or with my clients, a lot of this burden gets lifted. All of a sudden there's a new insight where inspired action can come from. But this only happens when we welcome it back to our heart, when we make that space and we allow it to be heard from a loving, compassionate place. That is the difference. Once that happens, you will find that a lot of your resistance will go away. So just to recap this video, the first thing we have to do is recognize that there is some anchor or caboose that's holding us back, and it is not negative, that actually it is noble in its intentions. It wants to help us by preserving safety. Secondly, we need to make space. Welcome it. Allow it to feel like it can be heard, not from a judgmental place, but from an open-hearted space. Thirdly, once that's happened, we're in dialogue with it. We want to find out more, not just why it's resisting, but what underneath that. What is it afraid of? What does it long for the whole system? And then lastly, once we do that, we create even more space so it can unburden whatever limited unconscious belief it's been holding on to. And then lastly, once that happens, naturally the client or the person, yourself, will feel a new experience within themselves that is literally shifting your state of consciousness from that contracted state now to more of expanded, where there's new insight and inspiration to allow you to act and move to your meditation or to eating the gluten-free food. In whatever case, this works in so many situations, but it just requires taking the time to stop and be with this part that is wounded. I hope that's helpful for you. If you like this video, again, hit that like button, and also check out these videos on what we can do if we suffer from negative thoughts. Really appreciate you tuning in. Have a blessed rest of your day.